Hello. Welcome everyone to another episode of the ABCs of Packing Light. All right, how is everyone doing? Let's see. Just getting myself all set up. Give me just a second. Okay. All right. So if you're here, be sure to say hello in the chat. And if you're tuning in later, leave me a comment and let me know that you stopped by. I love to see everyone who, tuned into one of these episodes. All right. So this is the ABCs of Packing Light. My name is Brooke. I am the founder of Her Packing List, a site that helps women to pack light and travel confidently. The ABCs of Packing Light is every week I choose a different word from the next letter of the alphabet, and we talk about it and how it relates to packing light. There have been a ton of fun conversations at this point. Can you believe it? We are on episode V, coming on to the end of this whole experience. Crazy. Didn't think we'd get here, but here we are. We're in the final stretch of the ABCs of Packing Light. All right, so today is episode V, and the word, let me get into the word. The word for today is value. The word for today is value. All right, episode V, value. Okay, so let's talk about what you value and how that might impact your packing or even your ability to pack light. All right, what your value is going to affect your packing and your ability to pack light. All right, so this can be anything. It can be what you value in life. It can be what you value in travel in general. It can be what you value in packing and also what you value from your general trip experience, right? So these can all play a part in packing and how you pack. Okay. All right. So when you identify what these values might be for each of these areas, so like what you value in life, what you value in terms of travel and packing, it makes it so that you can identify why you might be struggling with your packing goals. All right. So when you can pinpoint the different values that you have, you might be able to pinpoint why you're not reaching your goals in the way that you're hoping for. It can also identify areas where you can focus your attention so that you can pack light and still feel like you. All right. That's important. Right? You still want to feel like you have what you need, and you still want to feel very confident while packing light, and you want to feel like you. So when you know what you value, you can make sure that you actually feel good at the end of this whole process of downsizing your luggage and packing super light. Okay, so that's why it's important. Now, everyone is going to have a different value for all of these things. Like, you will value different things from each of these areas. And, because different things are important to us, right? That's part of the reason why I'm always saying that I'm about giving people kind of like guidelines instead of like hard and fast like rules. I mean, I do give you rules, right? But there's certain guidelines that you have to be able to adapt to your own specific values, wants, experience, scenario, trip, everything, okay? So, because you need to be happy, right? I always say, I can pack your bag for you, but you might not be very happy at the end because it might not be done according to what you value, okay? So what works for me doesn't always work for you. So getting to the heart of what you value, that can help. All right, so let's talk about travel values. What's important to you when you travel? Feel free to share it in the chat. Leave me a comment. I'd love to know. What is important to you when you travel? What do you value when you travel? What's important? I'll give you some ideas in a second. But really think about that. If you want to get a piece of paper out, and write this down. It might be very helpful to be able to visit it and go back and assess, your packing according to these values. So, for example, maybe you value freedom and flexibility when you travel. Like maybe that's what you're going for. Maybe you travel because you want to feel free and you want to have a flexible experience that leaves it open to like new possibilities, right? Sharon chimed in, freedom to do things spontaneously. Freedom, though, okay? So that's a big one. That's what you value when you're packing or when you're traveling. You might value maybe security. Like maybe that's important for you. Like you want to go off and see things, but you also don't want to put yourself in situations that are unsafe. So maybe like security is important, or, maybe exploration is important. I guess that can kind of be like the freedom type thing. But exploration is like, you want to be able to go out and see a lot of things. You want to go and really explore a place, not just like see it on, the top level. You want to dig deep and you want to go to hard places, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. All right. So now let's think about how these values impact the way you pack. Okay. So once you identify what you might value, here's how it can impact your packing. All right. So if you value the freedom and flexibility on a trip, that a lot of us do, you might try to pack as small and light as possible. All right, because you want to be in control of your luggage and your belongings at all times. You want to never feel weighed down. You want to be able to take advantage of any sort of impromptu experiences, impromptu detours. Like let's say you're hopping off the train and then you see something. You want to be able to just like experience that. You want to have the freedom and flexibility to make that detour, instead of going straight to your accommodation or straight to something else, So you also don't want luggage to slow you down, right? You want that freedom and flexibility. Okay? So if this is you, then my packing class HPM is totally what you need to go through. It will give you more of that freedom and flexibility when you travel. All right, but if you value kind of like the safety and security aspect of travel, you might end up packing a few extras. Like you might have minimal luggage, but it might be a little bit more than the person who is just after that sort of like freedom and flexibility. All right, so you might pack like, I don't know, maybe you'll make sure that you have like a pack safe day pack, with the built-in anti-theft features. You might pack a little door stop that you can put behind your door so that you feel safe at your accommodation. There might be some things that you are doing a little bit differently because of that, right? So that might impact what you're packing. Now, if you value exploration, you might be tempted to pack a little bit more, right? You might want to pack it all into like a good backpacking backpack, right? So that, you're ready for anything, perhaps a pair of hiking shoes and a small sleeping bag will be something that you're packing because you're up for anything and you're looking to get to the heart of wherever you are and you want to like get outside, get outdoors, all that kind of stuff. So you're more about exploring. Juliet says PJs. That's what you're valuing, yeah. Yep. Okay. So that's first. Think about what you value in travel, write it down. Definitely go back to it when you are packing. All right, now let's have a good look at what you value in terms of packing. Okay, this might actually be different. All right, so not just in terms of travel, but also in like packing specifically. So when you're packing your bag, what do you value? All right, if you're here, feel free to share it in the chat. I'll give you some examples in a second. But again, they might actually be, it might be two things that go together very cohesively, and they might be two things that actually butt heads. So it's interesting to really think about this. All right. It'll help you identify roadblocks for your packing light journey, or it will help you identify, again, those things that you can really focus on so that you feel like you when you're bringing less stuff. Okay, so for example, when you're packing, you might value organization, right? That might be something that you really value. You'll probably pack using a lot of packing cubes if that's you, and a lot of pouches, or you'll get a bag that has a lot of built-in organization, so a lot of built-in zipper pouches and all that kind of stuff. Now, and if you value organization, you might also pack light because you can feel more organized when you have less stuff to actually organize. It's amazing. So it's very easy to do the organizing when you have less stuff. Okay, but if you value kind of when you're packing, maybe you're thinking more about familiarity. You're thinking about how can I make this unknown place feel more familiar. So maybe that's your goal. So you want to pack a lot more maybe comforts of home. If you don't wear something at home, then it's not going to be something that you're packing for your trip, right? So some people might have specific clothing that they bring, that they pack when they travel, but not really wear at home. If you want familiarity, this probably isn't going to be you, okay? You won't stray probably too far from your normal routine. So you'll pack everything that you do at home. You're probably less likely to try and change things up, right? You'll pack things maybe that make your hotel feel like home. So you might bring an extra pillowcase, maybe a travel-sized room spray that smells like home, a pair of slippers, or even a travel blanket, okay? Now, if this is the case, if you're trying to make your travel life feel more like home life, they are two very different things. But if you're trying to make them seem exactly like home life, it can make it really hard to pack light, like extremely hard to pack light. You have to be willing to give up somewhere else so that you can pack according to like what you value, right? So knowing that this is something that you want, it's good to identify that, right? And then it's good to think about how you can still achieve that goal and pack according to your values, but also be able to pack light. Susan, good to see you. Yes, good to be here and using my brain. Yeah. Awesome. Glad we can get the brain muscle being flexed for you. All right. So when you combine these values, right, your travel values and your packing values, you can even throw in your life values too. It gives you a place to work from so that you can create a packing experience that complements your trip. Okay? So if your values, so if you look at all these values, you write down what you value on a piece of paper. If you look at your values, then you can pack in a way that makes sense for you. All right, so if your values are a combination of, let's say, independent, you want to feel independent when you travel, you want to have that freedom, but you also value comfort and you also value your health, okay? Here's what you might be doing. You may want to pack a light bag, right? You want to pack a light bag that you can easily manage on your own with comfortable clothing that you've worn before. All right. And you may give up some extra space in one area. Let's say, you might pack one or two less clothing items so that you can pack extra health supplies. Like, I don't know, maybe it's extra supplements, or maybe it's like workout bands, exercise bands or something like that. So that might be something that you're doing. Okay. Now, if your values are a combination of, let's say, adventurous, slow, and secure, okay, so maybe you don't like fast travel, you like slow travel, you want to just be relaxed, but you also want to feel secure and adventurous. Interesting combination, right? You may want to pack a light bag with multi-purpose items that accommodate different activities, okay? So it accommodates the adventurousness part of this, right? And you may feel more secure giving up a bit of space for extra security measures like a doorstop or, extra, a whistle, something like that, And you may be able to pack fewer clothing items because you value your slow evenings, which gives you time to do laundry at your hotel or at your accommodation, right? So if you value slow travel, you have the spare time, so you can make sure that you're rewashing your minimal wardrobe items regularly, okay? Now, Alternatively, if you're going to be on a more fast-paced trip, like you want to pack as much stuff in as possible, if that's what you value in travel, then you might want to pack more merino wool items that need laundered less often, and maybe you will make space for a few extra pairs of underwear. Okay? Can you see how this might work? Can you see how your values and what you value can also, impact what you pack and also impact how you pack light? Yeah. Okay. All right, I hope this is all like making sense to you. I still feel like I'm waking up today. All right, benefits. Let's talk about some benefits of identifying your packing values. All right, so you can decide, when you identify your values, you can decide if the behavior sparked by the value is serving you best. All right, it gives you something to assess. All right, so if you value comfort when you're packing, but it causes you to pack more than you need, so let's say you're packing a pair of comfy slippers, fuzzy socks, a travel pillow, all the things, right? But you also think your bag is too heavy. So you want to have all these comfort items, but you also think your bag is too heavy. Knowing that you value comfort kind of explains why you might be feeling like you've overpacked, right? Now, because you've identified your value and you've identified this problem, you can now work on finding ways to live to your value and still pack light. So if you value comfort and you want to pack lighter, you can identify maybe 1 or 2 items that make you feel comfortable and leave the rest at home, right? So you can still have something in that category. You can have enough of something instead of having excess. So what are the things, or what is the 1 or 2 things that really makes you feel like super comfortable? And can you just focus on packing those things, okay? And when you do that, you still feel like yourself, right? When you pack in line with your values, you aren't traveling with an alternate version of yourself, okay? You still get to feel like you feel like you have everything you need, but you're not, you're not doing things different, and you're not feeling like you're sacrificing, okay? Packing light is not all about sacrifice. Packing light doesn't have to be all about sacrifice, all right? It might feel like you have to just sacrifice everything that's important to you, but if you do it right, and identifying values can help, when you pack thinking about your own needs and what you value, you'll be able to have less stuff and feel like you. Values help with this whole process. Okay? So important. Think about what you value in life and travel and packing. Write it down and assess. Okay, now, before I wrap up today, I'd like to mention a few ways in which packing light can actually help you with what you value most in the travel experience, okay? And I'll give you some examples, okay? So identifying values can help you with packing light, but then packing light can also help you get more out of what you value most in your trip, okay? So if you, for example, value a very comfortable transit experience, like if you want to make getting from point A to point B on all parts of your trip super easy, right? If that's something that you value, it's something I value. Travel days, I don't like stressful travel days. All right, packing light helps with that. Like when you pack smaller and lighter, it's easier to manage. You feel more comfortable on those hectic travel days, okay? All right. What do you all value? If you're here, let me know in the chat, like what you value. What's something that you value when you travel? Something specific, a specific part of travel that you value, not like what you value in a general sense. Like, do you value a comfortable travel day? Yeah. Okay, I'll come back to that. Maybe you value having the best accommodation that you can afford. Like maybe having a really awesome accommodation is something that is high on your priority list. It's something that you really love and you value about a trip, right? Well, guess what, friends? Packing light can save you on baggage fees, which means you can have more money to put towards awesome accommodation. Okay? So that you can get more of what you value most. All right? Maybe you value experiences. Maybe you value trying new things and different experiences, right? Well, if that's important to you, which I'm sure it probably is to most people here, packing lighter and smaller lets you spend more time on experiences. You know, I've talked about this before, but you get more time back because you're not worrying about having to deal with your luggage as much. If you have a little backpack and it's not super heavy and you're not feeling weighed down, you can actually go and do things while wearing that backpack instead of having to like get back to the hotel to pick up your luggage, you know, all that kind of stuff. Plus, you get to, if you can save money, again, not having to check a bag or pay for carry-on luggage on some airlines, you will have more money to put towards new experiences. And we love that. We do. All right. Maybe you value good food. Maybe you travel just for the food. Maybe you're like, I want to go to all the best restaurants, the best cafes, best eateries, all the things. Well, when you save on those baggage fees, you get more money so you can buy more or better food. All part of the experience, right? Get to go and eat out more, which is so much fun. Juliet, since I take multiple long-haul flights a year, I value an eye mask, slippers, compression socks, and personal earphones. So I'll offset my packed items to fill these luxuries. Yes. Oh, the slippers. Slippers do feel like a luxury to me. Yeah, for sure. So an eye mask and slippers and compression socks. Yeah, for sure. Compression socks are very important on long flights. I always wear them on long flights. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's, it's really good to identify what you value, right? I want you to pack light and I want you to feel like you. All right, back to it. All right. So the moral of the story today is that thinking about your values will help you to pack light and right and to do it in a way that feels authentic. All right. And on the other end of the spectrum, packing light can help you get more of what you value in a trip. All right. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. That's going to do it for me today for episode V of the ABCs of Packing Light. Our word today is value. If you like what you heard, if this resonated with you, like this video and leave me a comment letting me know. And be sure to tune in next week, same time, same place for episode W. Wow. Okay. You all are going to have to help me think of what I'm going to do after this. You know, am I going to continue doing lives every week? Open to ideas. Leave me a comment letting me know. Okay. Once again, I'm Brooke, the founder of Her Packing List, and I want you to reach your packing light goals. Be sure to check out herpackinglist.com for more great packing tips and advice. So take care, friends. Have a lovely evening or a lovely day wherever you are in the world. Bye now, everyone. See you next week.